Hello everyone. Good morning. This is Ambika from Go Online Trainings. Today I'm going to give you the demo on Python full stack development. I'm a senior data engineer working in IT organization. I have 8 years of experience in IT industry and have 4+ years of experience in data engineering. And I have 4+ years of experience in training people in Python course, AWS, Snowflake, and so and so. So now today we are going to see what is Python full stack development. In this course, you will be getting to learn about introduction to full stack development, what is Python, and why to use Python programming. What is full stack programming? What is Django? What is HTML and why to use it? What is JavaScript and why? What is MVC architecture in Django? And how we are going to interrelate Django, frontend, and database. So this full stack development, why we are going for a Python full stack development? What is the normal difference between the normal website and full stack development website? That is the main thing. First, we have to understand in this course. Then we will come to know what are the languages we are going to use in this and how we are going to learn that. In the normal website, we'll be using the static HTML page. We won't be connecting to the database. In this static HTML page, we'll be displaying the elements where we can develop a normal website. In the full stack development, we'll be having the front end, back end, and server-side programming as well. So I want to create a website that I have to store the data in the backend database, and I should have give some functionality to my website. That is the main criteria we are going for full stack development. To know the full stack development, to become an expert in the full stack development, what are the languages I should know? I should be good in Python programming. I should know the JavaScript programming basic. In the Python, you should be familiar with the basic Python programming as well as advanced Python programming. But it is okay to know the basics of JavaScripting, and you should be good in HTML programming, CSS, and MVC architecture of the Django framework. So in this full stack development, I'll be using the Django framework, which is basically designed using the Python. My front end will be communicating with the back end, where the back end I'm going to maintain the code using the Python programming. So this is what we are going to learn in this course. This is a full stack development architecture. The first part is basic designing skills. Second is core expertise in Python. Third is basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Fourth is Python-based frameworks and HTTP and REST protocol to access the URL. Knowledge of GitHub repository, and knowledge of database. So whatever the points I have mentioned in this diagram, these are the things you are going to learn in this course. By intro-architecting all these concepts, we can develop a full stack Python development. The basic designing skills comes in the front end. How I'm going to create my front end using the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Core expertise in Python, Python-based frameworks. These are the two concepts I will be using in my backend. My front end will be communicating with the backend as well as with the database. So in the backend, I'm going to use the Django framework, which is one of the most popular Python-supported framework, which is used for web designing. For that, I'll be covering the concept of core expertise in Python and Python-based frameworks. Once the front end is done and the backend coding is done, now I should know which database I'm going to connect with the backend. The Django framework is going to provide the default database will be provided by Django. Once my front-end coding is ready, my back-end coding is ready, my database is connected, then I should know where to store my code. It is not only in your local machine. You have to store your code in a centralized way. For that, I will be teaching you the GitHub repository to maintain the version of the coding. For example, I am one of the developer. Among your one of the students, you will be one of the developer, another person will be in the developer. So each one of them will be coming with the different version of the Python coding. I don't want to have different versions of the Python coding to be maintained. I want to maintain the uniform structure, uniform version of the code, so that when my code is going to the production, I won't be having the issue to resolve any interface issues. For that, I have to maintain the GitHub repository to store my code, to centralize my code. And HTTP and REST protocol will be used to give the security to my backend database and backend server. How to use HTTP and how to use REST API to access my application. These are the things we are going to learn in today's session. Coming to Python fundamentals, we should be very good in the basic concepts of Python programming. In my full stack architecture, my backend programming will be done using Python. For that, I should be aware of the basic concepts of the Python programming. Variables, identifiers, data types, list, tuple, set and dictionary, functions, OOPs, object-oriented programming systems, database, regex, and pandas. These are the concepts we have to be thorough in Python programming before getting into the full stack development. What is a variable? What are identifiers in Python? What is a data type? Basically, in programming, we usually use the data type like integer, float, and string. List, tuple, set, and dictionary are dynamic data types that is supported by Python. When I want to have integer, float, and string all together in one variable, for that time, I should be using the dynamic data type in Python programming. What are functions in Python? What is object-oriented programming in Python? What is the database? How I'm going to connect to the database using Python programming? What is regular expressions? And what are pandas? So I will be teaching you all these concepts in detail and give you the practice to become strong in Python programming. These are the concepts we'll be covering. Other than that, what are the modules in Python programming? How to create our own module in Python? Very important concepts, very interesting as well. You will be learning in this course. Now, what is full stack? It refers to the development of both front end, that is client side, and back end, that is server side portions of the web application. Usually, the client will connect to the server, right? That is a basic configuration we understand. Full stack web developers have the ability to design the complete web application and websites. They work on the front end, back end, database, and debugging of web applications or websites. That is what these are the topics will be covered in the full stack development. In full stack, this is a general architecture. We'll be having the front end, which is getting connected to the back end. These are the stages of the full stack architecture. Back end means it refers to the server side development of web application with the primary focus on how the website is going to work. In the back end, we are going to connect to the server side development. Normally, we won't do that in the normal websites, which consist of only the HTML content. But in this full stack development, our program will be connected to the server side so that we will know the full functionality of how the website is going to work. It is responsible for managing the database queries and APIs by client-side commands. Having this backend, how it is going to support us? We can query the database and using the APIs from the client side, we will be retrieving the information from the server. In the traditional method of development of the website, we don't have these features, advanced features. Website consists of front end, back end, and database. It is not a normal website. Again, the website created by Python full stack will be having the front end, back end, and database architecture. Django. It is basically a web framework created using Python. This framework is supported by Python. It is mainly used to create the backend of a website by mixing Python programming in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Django will be using for our backend. Django provides a platform to develop web application rapidly and more securely. That is what focused in Django. Django has got model, view, and template architecture. Through this model, we'll be getting connected to the database. Through this view, we'll be using the server-side functionality. In this template, we'll be using the front end. The UI will be the complete template. HTML is a standard markup language for web pages. It was invented by Tom Berners-Lee. It is used for creating web pages which are displayed on the World Wide Web, WWW. In this WWW, I want to create some web pages. For that, the source code I'll be using is HTML. It needs text editors like Notepad, Sublime, etc. to write the code. To write some HTML code, I should use Notepad, Sublime kind of stuff to develop my code. In the right side, I have given you few examples how the HTML code will be and what are the contents I'll be using in HTML. Doc type HTML defines that the document is an HTML5 document. It is a root element of the HTML page. The head element contains the meta information about the HTML page. The title element specifies the title of the HTML page. What is the title I'm going to give for this HTML? What is the header I'm going to maintain for my HTML website? The body element defines the document's body, and it is a container for all visible contents such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, and lists. Overall, to say, my HTML page will be having these tags. In the head, I'll be mentioning the header of my website. In the title, I'll be giving the title of the website. In the body, I'll be giving what are the contents I want to cover in this website. Clear? HTML and CSS. CSS is nothing but cascading style sheets. It is the language we use to style an HTML document. Why should I go for CSS? Why not my HTML page comes with these options? HTML will be having the options to style the page, no doubt. But I don't want so much of coding to be loaded in my HTML script. CSS cascading style sheet is the interface which I'll be using in the HTML page. Inside the CSS, I'll be mentioning what is the size of the font I'm going to use for my website. What is the header size I'm going to maintain? What is the paragraph size I'm going to maintain? What is the font style? Whether it is italic or Arabic or Roman, Times Roman. What are the font style, font size, font colors? All these options can be provided in HTML page itself. But still, I want the external interface kind of CSS so that whatever the specifications I want to give in my HTML page, everything I can mention in the CSS page. And that CSS will be kept inside the folder. And this CSS will be accessed inside my HTML page. It will be embedded inside my HTML page so that when I'm going to define a paragraph, whatever the properties of the paragraph I want to give in my website, that will be mentioned in the CSS. Cascading style sheets. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of the multiple web pages all at once. If I'm going to design a CSS for one particular web page, the same CSS I can be using for the another web page. I will be using the same CSS style for my web page for multiple websites. That is a major advantage of using the cascading style sheets. In the left side, the HTML element is defined by start tag, some content, and end tag. You are able to see the H1 is placed inside a lesser than symbol and greater than symbol. So that is the tag I'm going to maintain inside the HTML page to specify the content. For the, if I'm going to bring a header for my web page, I should use this H1 tag. So the tag name should be mentioned, whatever the content you are going to use in your web page. The container tag requires opening and close of the tag. Empty tag does not require closing tag. You can have either opening tag or closing tag. So these are the types of the elements in the HTML and how I'm going to maintain these elements, cover these elements using the cascading style sheets. So to implement all these things in the Python full stack, we should be learning how to create a tag in HTML, and so many different types of tags are there in the HTML, how to create it, and how I'm going to create a cascading style sheet so that the properties of the cascading style sheet I can embed in my HTML page to create a beautiful website. CSS and JavaScript, it saves time to develop the web pages. It is easy to maintain. It supports all type of web standards and browsers. CSS efficiently works with the search engines. Search engine means one of the popular search engine, what we are using every day, Google. So the Google page, if you see the source code of that, you can see the CSS has been defined along with the HTML web page of the Google. CSS has wide variety of tags. All these things you'll be learning in detail in the upcoming sessions. There are 3 ways of inserting a style sheet: external CSS, internal CSS, inline CSS. See, I'm going to create a CSS separately and I'm going to save it in a folder. I want to access the CSS in my HTML page to beautify my document, to beautify my web page. How can I access that CSS inside my HTML script? There are 3 ways: externally, internally, and inline. In external, it is a separate style file used to define all style rules, which is saved in .css format. This .css file I'll be keeping in a folder called CSS. In internal CSS, we define the style rules in the same HTML page. I won't be having a separate folder or file created inside that. Whatever the CSS I want to maintain and mention, I'll be maintaining it in the HTML script itself. In inline CSS, we can define the style rule for single tag in the HTML page itself. If I want to mention in one single tag for the entire HTML script, that is called inline CSS. So this is how the CSS we are going to create and how we are going to maintain it. JavaScript. It is the world's most popular programming language. JavaScript is an object-oriented scripting language which is lightweight and cross-platform. It is completely object-based scripting language. What is object-based? If you are going to connect your programming with the real-world objects, for example, car, pen, parrot, human being, if you are going to connect your programming language with the real-world objects, that is called object-based scripting language, which is lightweight and cross-platform. Lightweight means you'll be using the minimum lines of code to describe the property. Cross-platform means you no need to mention that only I need Windows to execute this. You can have a multiple operating system to execute this. It is a case-sensitive language. If I am supposed to use capital letter for one command in Java, I should maintain with the capital letter. If I am going to use the small letters, I should maintain the entire command in the small letter. Rather than where my command should be in capital, if I'm going to mention the small font for that, it won't work. It is going to give you the error. That is called case sensitive. JavaScript is a language that works with HTML to enhance a web page to make them more interactive. I want my web page to be more interactive. I want to enhance with the different features. For that, I'll be using the JavaScript. In the right side, I have given you the example how the JavaScript will be. So this is the command I should maintain for the JavaScript. In the script type, you have to tell that you are using JS. Document.write. Java is a simple language for learners. This is a simple print statement I'm going to give using JavaScript. For that, syntax is document.write, open bracket, within the double quotes, you are going to set some user-defined description, and then you are closing the print statement. So this is the syntax we have to maintain for the JavaScript. Explanation of the code. The text/Java is a content type that provides information to the browser about the data. So in your browser, in your UI, if I'm going to mention this text/JavaScript, it is going to tell I'm going to add some content to this web page by using this JavaScript. The document.write is used to display dynamic content through JavaScript. I'm just going to say hello world, hi viewers, hello everyone. Some dynamic content through this JavaScript I'm showing to everyone. So this one also, this is also the one of the scripting language you should be aware for the Python content, full stack content. Now, where I am going to call the JavaScript inside my HTML page. Now, I am aware that I should learn HTML, I should learn JavaScript. I know to beautify my page, to add more content to my web page, I am going to use a JavaScript. Now, how I am going to place the JavaScript inside my HTML code? In the left side, in the header section, I am going to give a alert of hello Java point. So my HTML page has got tags, HTML, head, script, body, form, everything. I could see many tags of my HTML in the left side example. So in the script, under the header, I am going to give a JavaScript to show hello Java point in my web page. So I need this script in the header section so that my web page will be having this header hello Java point. In the right side, through the external file, in the message.js, if you see in the script tag, you are able to see the source, src is equal to message.js. In this JavaScript file, JS is nothing but .js is JavaScript file. I'm going to have a message. So when I call that JavaScript.js file inside the script, what the message I have written inside the message.js will be displayed in my header of the HTML page. So this is the way how we are going to connect JavaScript inside the HTML script, which is going to reflect in our UI. Front end, back end, and database. Build an app. Python, Django, backend. HTML5 is the front end. SQLite is a default database provided by Django. So these are the three things you are going to learn in Python full stack development. What is the difference? Again, in the normal website and the Django website is, in the Django website, I'll be having this SQL database coming default with my Django application. In the normal website, you'll be having the static HTML page. But in Django website, I will be having the Django project associated with the Django apps. For each project, I'll be creating each app, Django app, which is connected to the database and will be having the front end as a HTML page. Here, the first entry point is browser. In the browser, I will be maintaining my UI. In the browser will hit the URL and left side, basically the browser will be having the template. From the template, I will be transferring the content to my browser. The template is nothing but my UI, front end, right? So in Django, I am coming from bottom to top architecture, that is database, models, views, then template and the URLs. In this bottom to top architecture, the database which is connected to my models. ORM means Object Relational Model. So my database will be connected to the Django models. Whatever the model I'm going to create in this Django, and each model is my database table. Each model of my Django framework will be my database table. In this views, I will be having the code to display my content into the template. To display the content into my template, I should get the data from my database. So the views will be creating the web page. If you want to modify some content in the web page, if you want to delete some content in the web page, all the operations will be done by the views. This is called model, view, and template architecture of Django. Then, what is this URL is going to do? In this views, whatever the operations I'm going to do in the web page by interacting with my database, all will be represented in the URL format. To see my home page, I'll be having the URL. To create a model, to create a database table, I will be having the URL. In this views, I'll be having a form. In this Django form, I'll be entering the user inputs, where the user inputs will be getting stored in the Django models, which is directly connected to the database. The browser will be having URL. When I enter some URL, it should take me to some page. In that page, whatever the details I'm entering, that will be getting stored as a model into the database. Whatever the details I'm entering through the browser, it will be stored in the database. If I want to update some information in my browser, the view will help me to update those information, and then it will be stored in the updated in my database. So in this architecture, the browser will be, you will be entering a URL in the browser, which will show you the template. Through the template, you will be entering the details into the Django form, and those details will be getting stored as a Django models, which will be connected to the database. If I want to update some information in my template, I have to enter the URL to update my template. If I want to delete some data, I want to enter the URL so that I can delete the details from my template. Whatever the operations I'm doing in the template, that is controlled by the views. Then it will be reflected in the database. This is the way the model view controller architecture of the Django is going to work. Django is a free open source Python web framework. It is a backend server-side web framework. It follows a model view template design architecture. It is battery included. Some well-known sites use Django include Instagram, YouTube, Dropbox, Spotify, Bitbucket, and Mozilla. All these browsers are developed using the Django framework. Battery included means it supports the end-to-end operations of the website. Why Django? Open source, it is fast and simple, secure, vast and supported community, versatile. It provides a SQL database by default. These are the features I'm getting in Django. That's why I'm going to use my backend as a Django framework in my full stack development. In this Django MVC architecture, we are going to maintain model, template, and view architecture. Model describes your data. Views controls what the user is seeing in the website. Template, how user sees it. Controller, URL dispatcher. So, as I said in this architecture, this is a URL dispatcher, and this is what is the user is going to see in the web page. This view is going to control this web page, and this is going to describe your data. This is called model view controller. The model will be directly connected to my database. The view will be controlling my UI. View will be controlling my UI. And the template is what you are going to view. So this is the basic concept of the Django framework, MVC architecture. We should be very strong in that to go further in Python full stack development. In the normal website, you won't be having this model view controller architecture. You will be having the static HTML page through which you will be displaying the content, and you are able to see some content in the HTML page. But in the Django framework, the high level design is model view controller. I have given you the explanation how it is working. While in the sessions, you will be learning in detail how to work on it, and you will have a daily practice session to become strong in this. Next is API. When coming to the full stack development, I want to access my URL through API. Application program interface. What I will do in this? In the left side, I could see some users sending the request to my web application. User is sending the request to my web application. What is this web application is doing? It is taking the user request and sending it to web server. This is a Django server, which is going to, this is a Django server, web server. I'm going to use it here. So this Django server is going to talk to the database. So whatever the user is sending the request through the API, this API is going to interact with the Django framework, and it is going to take the data, whatever the information from the database, it will be responding back to the user. This is the way how the application program interface works. What is URL? The basic URL structure is, it starts with HTTPS, and it has got some domain, and it has got some path. So this is the way we used to represent the URL in the web designing. So this HTTPS is going to tell you you are going to use the HTTP protocol to get your request and response back from the server. This domain is going to tell what exactly you want, from where exactly you are going to retrieve the data. And glossaries is going to tell the path from which file you are going to access this structure. What is REST API? I am having the client. This is the HTTP protocol. This is the URL. This is the server. Through the HTTP protocol, I'm going to send get operation, post, delete, and put. So these are the URLs I'm going to maintain to connect to my server. So these are the URLs I'm going to maintain to connect to my server. When I click and /service, it will be taking me to the HTML page where I can submit my details, which will be connected to the server. I'm going to update some details through this Surveys123. So when I click this URL, I'll be posting some details into my server. When I use Surveys123 response, I'm going to do some delete operations or put operations into my server. So for each operation of the HTTP, I'm going to maintain the URLs that will be connected to my server. For each operation of the HTTP protocol, I'm going to use the URLs to do some operations which will be connected to my server, and the data will be stored in my database. In the REST API, when I get some response back from the server, it will be in the JSON format. That is the difference between the normal API and the REST API. In the REST API, whatever the data I'm going to get from the user, I'll be getting the response in the HTML JSON format. So that is the difference between normal API and the REST API. You should understand what is the protocol, what is the URL, when you give the URL, how it is going to communicate with the server, what format you are going to get the response from the server. Django is based on MVT architecture, model view template. It is a software design pattern for developing a web application. It has a model, view, and template. These are the three layers going to control this Django framework. The model is going to act as an interface of your data. It is responsible for maintaining your data. This model is going to interact with the data in your database. Object relational mapping. It is a powerful feature of Django framework that allows developers to interact with the relational database using the Python objects instead of writing SQL queries directly. I don't want to write any SQL queries to interact with my database. Rather than, I'm going to use some Python objects in my framework so that I can interact with my database. That is the purpose we are going to use the model view. The view is a user interface. It is the data that a user sees when a user renders a website. It works as a mediator between template and the model. Django view has got two types. One is functional based view and class based view. In the Python fundamentals, you will be learning a concept called functions and a class that is called object oriented programming. So those two things you should be strong in the Python fundamentals to work in this functional based view and class based view. So this view is going to act as a mediator between the UI template and the model database. Template is a file where you describe how the result should be represented. It may contain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In this template, you are going to see the web result. How this is going to work. The user is sending the request to the Django server. So the user request will be sending in the format of the URL mapping. So if in the home page URL will take the input from the user. It will show what are the possible options I have provided in the home page. Next is login URL. In the login URL, the user will be sending the username and password to enter into the website. So when in the URL, they are mentioning some URL and entering the details in the template. Once the details are transferred, it will be connected to your view. From this view, it will be connected to the model. So this URL is going to tell which page you are in. Home page, login page, processing page, some other details page. This URL is going to tell you which template you are going to use. From this template, you will be getting the information, transferring the information to the view. This view will interact with the database. The models, whatever you are going to create in this Django framework, those are the database models. So, user is giving the request through the URL. The URL is going to have which template, which page you are going to use. From this page, the view will be interacting with the database to give back the information to this template. This is the architecture, how the Django is going to work. Scope of this course. A Python full stack developer is proficient in handling the front and the back end of the website or an application. You can earn 2 lakhs per annum for a beginner level position, and with 3 to 4 years experience, you'll be earning 10 to 12 lakhs per annum. This is the scope of this project and scope of the course. Duration. Python fundamentals, I already told you. The developers are always having the necessary to learn many languages to do some programming, to do some project in an organization. For this full stack development, what are the languages they should be aware is Python fundamentals, HTML, CSS and Bootstrap, API and REST API, Django framework, SQL database, project implementation. Total course will be around 3 to 4 months and a number of days to cover the respective topics as mentioned in this presentation. So this is for the details I'm going to cover in this Python. So far in the presentation, we have learned what is Python. I mean, what are the fundamentals of Python you are supposed to learn? What is a JavaScript? What is HTML? What is CSS? What is Django framework? What is the architecture it is going to follow? Now, if I take an example, I'm going to have a login screen. This is my web page. So in this login screen, I'm going to give a username and password. In this text box, I'm going to give the username. In this text box, I'm going to give a password. So when I give the username and the password, when I give login, when I click this login button, it has to take me to the home page of my website. Right? So you have to design in this way. This is my first login page. For this, the basic source code first point I have to develop is HTML script to bring this text box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5 text box and 1 submit button to create the HTML page. So when I give the username, when I give the password, when I click this login button, it should take me to the home page of my website. Right? So for this, I should enter the URL for this web page. For example, HTTP login page. So this, when I type this URL in my web browser, it will be showing me this template. So when this URL is entered, I will be getting this template, this UI, right? So what are the objects I need to create this UI? I need a text box and a submit button. So this text box and submit button, I will be enabling through the HTML code. Now, I want to size this text box as standard size, this text box standard size, this text box standard size. So what are the size of this text box? What is the shape of this text box? What is the color? Everything I can maintain through the CSS. So I'm going to define the color of the text box, size of the text box, and font size, and what is the font shape, whether it is italic or Times Roman, whatever the size, everything I'll be mentioning in this CSS, and this CSS will be called inside this HTML code. That is where I'm going to use the HTML code and CSS in my first step of my web stack development. Now, model. The login details are getting entered. So when I enter this login details, the username will be my database column. I'm going to create a table called login table. So this will be created as a model in Django. So when I create a model in Django, I'll be creating a login table in my database. So when I create a columns, username and password, so these are the two columns I'm going to maintain for this table, login table. So when I create a Django model, the login table will be created in my database with these two columns. Clear? Now, what are the username and password I'm entering here? It should do the authentication. That authentication I will do it through the view. That is called the controller of the Django framework. So this is act as an intermediate between HTML page and the Django model. So whatever the username and password I'm entering, that will be get authenticated using the view. This view you will be writing using the Python script. This view will be, the view code will be written using the Python script. So whatever the username and password I'm entering in this web page, it will be authenticated using this view. Once it is authenticated, the data will be stored in the database. So here, this page is the template. When I give the login page URL, this template will be displayed. Once you enter the details here, this username and password will be authenticated against the server, and it will be stored in the database in the model called login_table. So this is the way how the Django framework is going to work. In the traditional websites, you'll be just giving the username and password, and you will never have the transparency where it is going to store and how it is getting authenticated against the server. So that is getting covered in this Django framework architecture. This model view controller is going to support this framework. Clear? So here, when you see the course name is Full Stack Python Development. The course is Full Stack Python and Python. Module 1, I'll be teaching you on core Python and advanced Python, NumPy and Pandas modules of the Python programming. In module 2, the user interface and the front end. How to design a user interface using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and Angular. In the module 3, you will be learning how we are going to design the backend. Models, Django models, forms, admin, URL, views and routing, and how to use the REST API. In module 4, I'll be teaching you what is a database, what is relational database, how to use the SQLite DB and MySQL. After covering all the concepts of the programming, I'll be teaching you how to store your code in the GitHub repository. So these are the modules I'm going to cover in this course. You will be learning complete Python, basics of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, Django framework. As one database is SQLite DB and MySQL, and how to operate in the GitHub repository. So these are the things I'm going to cover in this full stack development course. While during this course, I want your entire collaboration from each and everyone to practice this perfectly along with me so that you will be benefited out of this course. Once you learn the content properly and to practice this course with me, I will definitely give you the assurance that you will be definitely placed in a very good job. The opportunities for this Python development course is huge. Basically, nowadays, the market depends only on the Python and on respective scriptings. So I'm very happy to give this demo in Go Online Trainings. And thank you everyone for viewing this demo. And we'll see you in the upcoming sessions. Thank you so much.